Hey, we got Drewz Viewz here, back for a little Anime Monday, reacting to anime on Monday. And today it is episode 2 of Fullmetal Alchemist, Brotherhood, parentheses, dub, close parentheses. And of course, we're back with Eric here. How's it going, Eric?
What's up? Well, happy to be here. Happy to be back watching this anime that I've not seen before, so...
Well, not so fast, Eric. We did mention in episode 1, which we just recorded, there's no mystery here. We're doing 1 and 2 back to back. I've already seen the whole anime on the sub, and Eric has seen somewhere between the first, I think, 6 and 10 episodes. We determined it's somewhere where
it's somewhere
he
in there,
stopped. Yeah. But this is a 64 episode series, so there's quite a bit he hasn't seen, quite a lot of mystery left. And yeah, we're doing it. If you missed episode 1 for whatever reason, that's what we're doing. We're doing dub, so I can get a little bit of a new experience. We're talking the show, but especially when we get to the ones Eric hasn't seen, we'll get more into the aspect of asking him what he thinks is going to happen, all of that sort of stuff. But for now, it was just interesting from episode 1 to watch it again, years later, I think, for both of us. And
yeah, it's been years.
Now that I've seen the whole show, I know what's going to happen. I'm sure there's plenty of things I don't remember that will surprise me. But, based on what I remember from the first episode, I didn't actually remember a lot of it. Like, I vaguely remembered they fought the freezing alchemist. I kind of specifically remembered more of like the dinner scene, like I mentioned last time, with using his family and bringing Edward and Alphonse into his home and all of that. They didn't actually. I think this is going to be a bit of a flashback episode 2 here, and maybe going to show how they get involved with the military in the first place.
Sure. Because
they didn't really get into that in the first episode. And there was the whole aspect of people like have heard of the Fullmetal Alchemist, but they didn't know what he looks like or he's a kid and all that stuff. So, yeah, probably the biggest thing we learned from the first episode is that Alphonse his body is completely gone. Only his soul is there in that suit of armor. Right. And Edward has one arm missing. It's an auto-male arm, they call it in this world. They evidently did something extremely taboo with alchemy to get in that situation.
Evidently.
Yeah. Their goal is to get their bodies back. We'll see where it goes from there.
Now, my big question that I just thought of is this show going to explain why it exists when there's already an anime called Fullmetal Alchemist?
Well, I don't think the show is going to explain it, but I know a little bit of the background on this. So, I have not seen Fullmetal Alchemist, the original, but, and I'd always heard this is the better version, and I believe that's because what happened is it was a little bit of a Game of Thrones situation where they started on that show just called Fullmetal Alchemist. They started producing it when the manga was still being written, so the story wasn't complete. Okay. So then at a certain point they had to go a la Game of Thrones in like season 5, 6, whatever it was. They had to diverge and make up their own plot, essentially, which didn't end up, I guess it's a matter of opinion, but the consensus is that it didn't end up as being as good as what the manga ending was, that was written by, the same person the whole time.
Okay.
And knew where they were going with it. Now, Brotherhood is a straight adaptation of the manga, like start to finish, so that would be then the difference. And it came out, I think, I'm not sure, maybe even a decade or 7, 8, 9, 10 years later.
Okay. So the beginnings will be the same-ish,
closer,
and the endings will be wildly different?
I believe that is the case, yeah. What I just said is basically all I know about that. Maybe I can research it a little bit more and see if there's any more specifics that would be relevant there. But yeah, that's why there's 2 shows. They're just completely different adaptations.
Okay. I think that's all the info I need. I'm just interested to see what that interesting looking goth lady is up to and my guy who can make it be fire, And I guess these kids or whatever.
You mean there was a kind of, what is it called when it's the ending? Like it's a cold open when it's like before the credits, like
Stinger.
You open on a show. the stinger at the end of the episode had a seductive looking woman and a disgusting fat, like gross guy eating something. And she was talking on the phone with somebody, so they're plotting something. They don't seem like they're on the good team, you know. So, will we see them this episode? We'll find out. Let's go ahead and watch it. This is going to be the first day. Let's do it.
Understanding, deconstructing, and reconstructing.
So they wait till episode 2 to
However,
kind of get
it
more
is
into
not
what
an
alchemy is
all-powerful
here.
art. If one wishes to obtain something, something of equal value must be given. This is the law of equivalent exchange.
Oh, there was a whole thing about a philosopher's stone in the first episode too.
Human transmutation
Is that the little marble that rolled out of his coat when they
The
killed
red.
him?
I believe so. Yes.
Okay.
The stories about this priest in New York, you think they're true?
The ones about his miracles?
So they're going to see a priest.
Just be sleight of hand, some cheap trick like that. If it's not, then I suppose all that leaves is the real thing, huh? It goes by different names, but it's always the same thing.
A philosopher's stone. Yep.
If we could just get our hands on it somehow, I might be able to get your body back. But how to find it?
Flying off the handle as usual.
Oh, you boys.
All right, so it's clearly
Are
a
you in here
flashback.
messing up your dad's study again?
This kind of shit was annoying to me too, just because, like, again, I watch mostly dubbed anime, and the voice actors they get to do kids in dubbed anime are just, like, atrocious.
He teach us anything if he's not here.
I can't believe
I
you've
need to
done
hear it for
this.
myself, not being too familiar with dubs. But it sounds like it's their voices
Oh
still.
no, it's great.
Yeah,
You
that's
definitely
true.
Take after your father.
But you know, they're doing
And that was it. Mom had given us all the encouragement we needed.
they're making themselves sound younger.
In the summer of that same year.
Yeah, the Alphonse voice actor. I'm trying to remember from the sub, but like his voice sounds really high in this, even in the present day.
It does.
Hey, brother. I'm
I
hungry. Aren't
guess it does in the sub too. I have to listen again.
So while I was bitching about the kids, their mother died
you? Once Dad comes back, everything will
Don't even talk about him!
of a plague.
He's not our dad. He didn't even come
Yeah,
for Mom's
and
funeral.
the dad did not come for the mom's funeral, evidently.
There might be a way we could bring Mom back.
So she is only 26. Damn.
That's something you're not supposed to do ever.
That's right.
My mom had 2 kids at 26.
Thought I'd find you here.
Well, it wasn't really being about having kids.
It was
about,
being dead. Gotcha.
Being dead.
It makes them feel sad in the next
Okay.
one, too.
We're not crying.
This girl
And
is new.
who are you to talk anyway? Every time your parents go away somewhere, you cry like a little baby.
She's their neighbor.
Are you sure, baby?
I'm so stupid for worrying about you. Mom to tell Grandma not to make you any dinner.
Hey, what are you gonna do that for?
There's consequences to your
Thanks for
actions, Ed.
I hate milk.
If you don't
Classic
drink it,
There we
anime
go.
looking.
Be like you sawed-off old
Granny.
hag.
was that? You little half-pint midget or peewee? Baby and baby! Subatomic shrimp!
Classic short people insulting each other a bit.
Those weird books in the middle of class.
That kind of had the vibe of that, what we were talking about in Utena, where, like, some of these insults just can't be...
It's a secret.
In other words, it's none
They're
of your
just not
damn
insults
business
in
when-
English.
Come on, no fear. You guys are always keeping secrets.
Well, calling someone a midget and a shrimp, I think that's an insult in English, though.
Some of the stuff that they were saying sounded like...
A little flowery, yeah.
You know, whoever invented stew must have been a genius.
It's just fucking stew, dude.
So that makes it genius.
Someone came up with the
He's a big
idea to
stew
pour milk
head.
into vegetable soup for the first time, right?
Yes, that's true.
Sure it is. Just one.
Can you
week,
imagine
that's
this
all it takes.
motherfucker getting, like, a curry for the first time? Flavors!
What atrocities would he commit after that?
Mutation and bring Mom back to life.
Well, he'd body
We
swap
trained
with
an
his
alchemist
So-
teacher
brother.
to prepare our bodies.
Oh yeah, another Utena shout out.
Yeah, Utena's the
Back
new
to our
Buffy.
lives
So-
with her the way they used to be.
Only the real heads will get that right for what you mean. For Drewz Viewz and a Monday. So I asked you after the first episode, do you remember why they did the what they're about to do? And you said you had remembered it. And now I see that it's only
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
just in the second episode.
It was for
Of course
sure
you said
in the
that, but-
episodes that I watched, which was apparently this one. Wonder what he's measuring out, you know?
Saltpeter, 100 grams.
Sulfur, fluorine, all this stuff.
5 grams. Silicon, 3
Milk.
grams.
1 cup.
Finally, we need some soul data. Okay, this is it.
Ned, something doesn't feel right.
Well, then call
No,
it
it's
off,
perfectly normal. Not creepy at all. A big eye coming in.
It can't be.
Are there hands on the... Yep.
And they're taking his body.
Let's cut his entire body off.
Wait, what was I doing? I just...
I am called by many names. I am the world. I am the universe. I'm God.
Meeting God in only episode 2. What a show.
And I am
Amazing.
also you. You have dared to knock on the door. Now, the door is open.
There's a creepy eye and hands inside.
Quiet, child. The truth.
And the world was being poured into my brain at once.
It's too much! It's too much! Make it stop! What's happening to me? Stop it!
My head felt like it was about to burst.
Mom! Mom, please!
I don't remember this.
The theory of human transmutation wasn't wrong. It can be done. It's possible. But the answers I need are right here. The truth about human transmutation. Show it to me again.
I can't do that. I've already shown you all I can for the toll you've paid. This, surely you knew. Right, young alchemist?
Damn it! This can't be happening! This wasn't supposed to... No! Somebody help me! Mom, please!
This I do remember.
Hi, Mom.
I guess, and I don't mean to be plot holes guy, but if what he got in exchange for his brother and half of his own body was that knowledge, then why did they also drop his ghoul mom back in the middle of the thing?
No, damn it! You won't take
Well,
him too!
I think the brother was this. Losing Alphonse was what got the mom back, even though she was twisted.
Two different exchanges. Okay.
Yeah. Then he lost his leg getting the knowledge that he got from the
Hey, you still
god,
in
whatever.
Central?
And then to get his brother back in the soul in the suit, he loses his arm. So that's
Next time you come here,
all
I
about the
expect you to have made Brigadier General.
what are they
Got
calling
that?
it? The law of equivalence, or like you can't get something without giving something.
Right. They call it
If
the
you're leaving,
law
I'll
of
go ahead and
equivalent
give this.
exchange in this dub.
What is it?
Equivalent
Interesting.
exchange.
The final report on Isaac McDougal.
Shingyi's Alchemistry. What's that?
Apparently, that's something they have. Oh, how are the Elrics doing? You keeping those boys out of trouble?
I'm their commanding officer, not their father.
Why'd you decide to make Ed a state alchemist anyway?
Oh, here's some
He's
good
just a
exposition coming.
The boy's gonna have to go through hell someday. You and I have certainly seen our share.
Hell, huh? Oh, they've seen hell. Both of them.
Yeah, we just saw that.
Lieutenant Colonel, they're not in back either.
Did they come to investigate because they could sense that alchemy was happening?
brothers? I want them found!
I actually don't recall.
Hey, what is this?
We went to your house, we saw the floor. What was that?
We're sorry. We didn't mean it. We're sorry.
Well, I heard reports that there was a brilliant alchemist living in this town, so I came to check them out. The last thing I expected to find was a boy. I'd say he's more than qualified to become a state alchemist. He'll be required to serve the military in times of national emergency. Given time, they may be able to find a way to get their bodies back. Or even more.
Even more.
What was there? Whatever that thing was, it wasn't human. Nearly killed them. And you want to throw those boys headlong into it?
Some tea?
Yes, thanks. It's Riza Hawkeye. Nice to meet you.
Meeting Hawk.
And Hawkeye is not an alchemist.
Lieutenant Riza, have you ever had to shoot
No.
anyone? I hate what you soldiers do. Soldiers like you are the reason my mom and dad left during the war, and soldiers are the reason they're dead. Now you're here to take Ed and Al away too.
That decision will be theirs, and theirs alone.
I'm not forcing you. I'm merely offering you the possibility. Will you sit in that chair wallowing in self-pity, or will you stand up and seize the chance the military can give you?
You know, and I think Mustang's voice actor is on Ruby also. Sounds very familiar.
Keep moving, whatever it takes. Even if the way ahead lies through a river of
I know who it is. I haven't seen Ruby.
But you've heard his voice somewhere else too.
I know the voice actor's name. He's married to the Lust's voice actor.
Oh.
She was in Nier, one of my favorite video games.
So Hawkeye says there's someone she has to protect. Winry's name for the first
I hope we
time.
meet again someday.
The music in this show was really good.
Okay.
That boy.
Sorry, if it's your first time watching Anime Monday with
There was fire in
Eric,
those eyes.
if you didn't watch Utena, I guess Eric has lots of insight into scores and music, classical music especially.
My mind's made up.
That I would.
Things such as the music in this is really good.
Yeah, well,
I'll try
we'll
to
build
have
up
something
to
smarter
some
to
of
say
the
later.
specifics.
Al, just hang in there a little longer, okay? Then we're gonna get you your body.
Well,
back, I promise.
luckily for
And while
Edward,
we're at it, we'll get yours back
the
too.
neighbors slash caretakers are an auto mail shop. Basically, they're auto mail.
Is it going to explain what automail is?
Kind of. I mean, it's like it's what his arm's made out of, and
Seems like you're in perfect shape.
it's like prosthetics, but
A while since the last time I used
that are
it.
pretty
I know.
strong.
Oh, it's amazing! You didn't even use a transmutation circle. You perform alchemy the same way the teacher does.
Did he learn it from
Okay.
God?
It's not some silly shit like he's the transmutation circle. It's just he doesn't need one anymore.
Hey, you! Don't mess up my auto mail! You know how hard I worked on that!
He evidently learned something in his experience that they just
For
flashback
real.
to
You
that
could
allows
try
him to
acting
do
more
it.
like a girl and less like a gearhead.
Because as long as you're wearing my auto mail, you're stuck with this gearhead
So
whether
she
you like it or
created it
not.
specifically.
But I hear we have a 12-year-old boy taking the test. I thought I would come out and see what all the excitement was about.
Happened during the Eastern conflict.
Ishval, that's the city
You idiot. That's His Excellency.
they mentioned
Emperor
last
King
time where
Bradley.
possibly war crimes were committed.
Also, that's a lie, right?
You may proceed with the examination.
What Edward said, yeah, because he wasn't going to say that I lost
Sure.
it by committing that sin. Right?
He's not even using a transmutation circle.
My, that's quite something, isn't it?
People who would see this as a good way to assassinate a VIP. In the future, you might want to rethink the way you conduct these examinations.
That's good. You clearly have nerves of steel, young man. But I'd say you still have much to learn about the world.
He's so fast with a sword, no one even noticed it.
Yeah, what's up with him being
His exam.
fucking lightning fast with a little rapier?
This silver
know.
pocket watch will serve as proof of your state certification. And it would seem our Fuhrer is not without a certain sense of irony.
Why is that?
You've just officially become a dog of the military.
This document certifies that Edward
That royal symbol is
Appointed to the post of state alchemist.
gross, silly.
Full
They could have drawn a better
That's
crest.
right. Along with their commission, state alchemists also receive a code name. You will now be known as...
He's good with the sword, but he's not good at making crests, I guess.
I think that'll suit me just fine.
Also, would you consider the title of the show a direct reference to Fullmetal Jacket?
Almost there.
So that's Lior.
What is Fullmetal Jacket in the movie? What is that really a reference to?
The Philosopher's Stone.
The stone. Also, some of these episodes I remember do have post-credits scenes. I don't think this one does, but that's something we gotta remember to look out for. Yeah, the first two did not. Because that one that we mentioned at the beginning from episode 1 wasn't
it was-
post-credit, but it was just the last scene.
But they are that the stinger from last episode took place in.
Yes. Yeah, so this was a flashback episode, but the start and end had them on a train going to where there's evidently a priest or that does something. Well, they mentioned a priest, but also they mentioned at the end a Philosopher's Stone. They're looking for a Philosopher's Stone because it's powerful. They can do even better alchemy with it, and they think, I guess, presumably that it could help them get their bodies back. But yeah, you just asked about Full Metal Jacket. Is that a reference? But I'm saying, what was the in that what is that?
I don't think I've
mean?
seen it as an adult, to be perfectly honest.
But yeah, it could be. I'm not sure. I wouldn't be surprised, maybe. But it does Full Metal just mean something, generally speaking, that I'm not exactly aware of. Yeah, he said, Mustang said Bradley had like a sense of irony or something. Was that about giving
It's a
him
bullet
that name?
casing.
I'm not
It
sure.
refers to
Actually,
the bullet
I'm not sure
casing.
he meant that. Aha. Okay. So, is that like a bulletproof vest?
I wonder if it's just like, this sounds cool.
Yeah. Well, in the case of this show, I think it is because it sounds, in this manga or whatever, I think it is because it sounds cool. But
Like Chainsaw Man.
yeah.
Just sounds cool.
What'd you think about
What did I think about this one? I
yeah,
don't
second time watching it.
like the maudlin, my brother is my brother is my brother shit. That's going to grate on me really hard.
Okay. Well,
I have a brother, we have a very good relationship. Just something about young sounding voice actors giving those maudlin speeches about how my brother's all that I have, my brother's the most important thing, we miss our mother, any shit like that. It just is annoying to me, and I'm not sure there's an explanation that goes further than that. But that's going to be a problem for me as we go further.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we needed this backstory, right? It's fine episode.
I generally speaking agree with you on what you're saying about the my brother aspect and all of that. I'm trying to remember from the show if it bothered me at the beginning too. I think it maybe did a little bit. Also, maybe it is a little more palatable. We've talked about this several times before, but the dub thing, like in Japanese when you don't.
I think so.
And you're just reading
I think
it
probably
as an English speaker, it's a little more palatable maybe. At the same time, there is something, even though I personally don't relate to it, there is something about like being so. I mean, there's a reason why a lot of stories have dead mom, missing father, all these elements. Like it leads to a certain dramatic heft that I do think works
leads
for
to
the
shorthand
show.
for that dramatic heft.
Exactly. So yeah, but I'll see as we continue with the dub here. I'll see how I start feeling it. I definitely would say it's not gonna be so maudlin all throughout. I don't think. And even with these ones, there are they put some jokes in there with the melodrama, even if you don't necessarily think they're great jokes or whatever. The stuff about being short and eating food and all that. And yeah, we saw with the flashback, Al, of course, before the transmutation incident, was eating normally. So that's like showing you what he's lost now, of course. But what did you think about the whole? You said you didn't remember the part with the.
So that is obviously the most interesting part of this. I didn't remember that. Obviously, I'm very curious as to what that is and when and how it's going to make its return in this show, right? There is that tingly feeling is like, oh, we've touched something we weren't meant to. Now there's like a living entity or an entity of some kind that we don't understand that's outside the world as we understand it that I've come face to face with. I'm interested in that. I assume it's coming back.
Yeah, and just from episode 2, then we see like there is like a higher power in this world. It's not like our world.
Well,
theoretically, I mean, maybe some people.
Right.
This sort of thing also,
it says
but
I'm God, I'm you, I'm whatever. Right. It's not clear to me yet that is a higher power, or if that's like a will-o'-the-wisp or something.
Yeah, but it's some kind of power. Certainly.
And also, you just gave it away.
Something very powerful. What, I gave it away?
Oh, I just assume if you said they made it clear that there's a higher power, that is in fact a higher power.
Well, no, just from this episode, I think like how would you say it's?
It's certainly higher than
I'm
men.
I'm not saying it is the higher power. Like God is a higher power than men, but it's something very powerful. That's higher than an average person or even a alchemist that has the power. And so there was something interesting where, and I probably didn't. I'm not sure if I picked up on this the first time, but they did mention that the teacher, who we saw only flashes of in this one, their teacher can also do alchemy with arrows.
It said they were drilling pretty hard with their teacher, and that's why he was a strong enough alchemist at like age 8 or whatever to try to bring his mom back to life.
Mm-hmm. That's why they were strong, and he's obviously smart, but the point I'm getting to is like the not using doing something that most people can't do, and they're surprised by it. Like we
Right,
talked about in
okay.
the first episode. He doesn't have to use the transmutation circles, and apparently their teacher doesn't do it either. So what does that tell you necessarily?
Oh, that she's seen what he's seen. Okay.
If anything.
Yeah, I wonder if we meet the
Possibly.
teacher again.
It would follow. Well, I think we might. But we did meet we met Winry this time, who's going to be a character going forward, their childhood friend, who creates, I guess, her enagramma, or like
Chefs.
automail, whatever mechanics or creators. She personally created Edward's arm and leg there. And she also said that her parents died in the war as well. So,
Real
more
real
of this,
info
and
dump
she's better
episode for
about it.
Winry.
We have more references to this past war, and the Fuhrer himself mentioned it again in this one too. So that's got to be intriguing. But yeah, I do like that how this one. I think it was a good decision by the writers to have this is episode 2 with giving us the more info on the flashback and really putting us in the world episode 1.
I certainly agree, because this episode would not have caused me to want to continue watching the show if it was the first episode that I saw. I really like those flashbacks were pretty grating. I understand that we have to get that backstory somehow. I don't know that I agree that that's the best use of the show's time and the best way to give us that backstory. I'm a big show don't tell guy, and that felt a lot like telling, even though literally we were shown, obviously, the backstory.
Show and tell.
But I'm just kind of ready
I
to get
see.
after it, you know? And this is part of what I bounced off. This is not the last time that we're going to have just an extended series of, it feels like, to reference video games again, unskippable cutscenes, right? Where we're getting this info dump that I basically don't care about, right? Give me the action. Give me the backstory as part of the action. And I'm not going to get that, at least for the 6 to 10 somewhere in their episodes. But whatever. I'm here. I'm doing it.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you are here, Eric. I think personally, for me, having seen the whole show, I think I have a little more time for an episode like this now, especially where I know where the characters go. I know all their interrelationships from the whole series, so it's kind of interesting for me to see the backstory again, or to see where it kind of all started. And I think it is a little unnecessary to like it, because these are going to be characters that are important, a lot of them, so you get just little bits and pieces here. But yeah, like I just said, thanks for coming along with me on the Brotherhood. The Brotherhood, Jesus.
The Brotherhood round the world.
I've got brothers on the mind. I'm hearing them in my head. I think that means it's time to wrap it up this time. But we'll be back next time on Monday with episode 3. I wouldn't count us out on that one. But that's called City of Heresy. So that sounds like where they're maybe going on the train, huh?
The priest, right? Yeah.
There was mention of the priest yet, but we're gonna see. We're gonna see what's up with that next time. Again, let us know your thoughts in the comments. We'd love to see them. Agreeances or disagreeances, grievances, whatever they are. And until then, we're up out of here. Peace.
Good luck with the rest of your exam.